Alright guys, before we get into the video, I'm going to talk to you yet again about futtrading.co.uk. Thank you to everyone that continues to subscribe and support our content. It means the world to us. You guys know we work very hard on the website. You make a lot of coins, but without you guys, we don't have a website. So thank you very much for that. We're working on another big giveaway this month, and hopefully we'll have details of that in the coming days for you guys. But just so you know, £10 a month gets you access to Tier 1 perks, which is buying and selling prices for icons, specials and silvers, as well as Thursday flips. They bang all the time, a lot of coins to be made. And with Tier 2, you get all the Tier 1, plus Chem Style filters, plus live filters, and we're adding UCL cards to that as well. PC prices have now been added, and we're continuing to add more PC features in the coming days and weeks. So make sure you check out futtrading.co.uk. You'll make millions as simplistically as anything. But for now, let's get into the video. Yo, what is up guys? Welcome back to a new video with me, Fuzzball40. As always, if you're new around here, make sure you do subscribe down below. We're on the road to 25,000 subscribers. We've gained nearly 10,000, not far off 10,000 now, in just over a month and a half. It has been an incredible journey. So thank you to everyone who has subscribed to the channel. I know it makes you coins, but supporting me means a huge amount. So I'm very thankful for that. Remember, you get 3 videos a day on this channel. The morning is normally League SBC Method to Glory. Right now, that's nigh impossible for me to do because my transfer pile is full. I'll explain more about that in a second. The evening video is a trading series, which is why my transfer pile is full. At the moment, we're trading from 1k to Team of the Year, Bruno Fernandes. We've got loads of investments sort of in the club right now, so I'm not on 100k, just for reference. And the midnight content is a mixture of packs, picks, anything to do with trading, anything that's relevant on the game for you guys to make coins. Last night, I brought out a silver pack method video. It is brilliant at the moment, so make sure you check that out whenever you do. But yeah, like I say, this is supposed to be League SBC Method in the morning, but I can't really do it right now, and I'll show you why. You guys already know this, but basically, my transfer pile is full of Team of the Week investments and 82 investments. Now, I like these sort of plays. I've always liked them. They're incredibly profitable, but when I'm bringing out series, I think I need to think twice about doing things like a series whereby, or a method whereby I go and fill my transfer pile up completely. It makes things quite difficult. And so what I think I'm going to do today for you guys is mass list these Ginters up for profit to lazy buyers and then try and trade with different methods, because I just don't think it's very viable for me to even sat there. I know the moment I do that, we're going to get an SBC tomorrow that increases their price, but it is what it is. There's nothing you can do about it. You just got to get on with it, basically. But yeah, just a note for me. We sold Eusebio. I did not like him. I did not rate him one bit. I didn't think he was worth the money we paid for him. And in selling him, we've bought into new players to the team. So we bought Kenny Dalglish, we bought Headliner Jeddah, and we bought SCN. This SCN was an unbelievable pickup. We paid 2.397 for him. And if you compare prices on the market right now, the cheapest is 2.9. And I've just seen one sell for 3 million coins earlier on. So we've got massive profit in him if we want to sell. But I won't be selling him because right now I am 10-0 on Weekend League. We've yet to lose a game. It's going very well. And I feel like I want to try and go for goal 1 this week and keep pushing on. So I think we'll keep my team intact. But as you can see, there we are, 10-0. So hopefully we keep it going. We'll see how it goes. But because we can't do League SBC method, I thought I'd talk about a method that I used to use a lot. And I stopped using for a long old while because I've not really needed to do it. And I think because I've slept on it for so long, I forgot how profitable it was. And that's SUDAMERICANA and LIBERTADORES cards. Now, a lot of people don't trade with these cards because they're very difficult to get hold of silvers and bronzes because you can't really filter them out very easily. So I want to show you guys how you filter them out by nation. And I want to show you guys the best sort of card to look at for each side, if that makes sense. So the most important thing to know about Libertadores and SUDAMERICANA, actually I'll just show you some deals by the way, so we know what you picked these up for. So this Villalba, paid 500 coins for. It's currently selling for 1,009. He will sell for that. This Garcia 750, 1,200. This guy 600, 1,200. I'll show you how to pick them up in a second. But what you need to know about the Libertadores and the SUDAMERICANA is, as a general rule, the SUDAMERICANA is expensive from silver rating upwards. So from 65 rated upwards, the SUDAMERICANA is expensive. For Libertadores, it is from 74 rated and down, so silver and bronze. The reason for that is the SUDAMERICANAs, for some reason, the golds don't tend to get packed too often. And I think that's because they're classed as gold commons. And so most of the packs that get opened during promo rounds tend to be gold rares. Libertadores cards, for some reason, the bronzes don't get packed as much as the SUDAMERICANAs do in bronze packs. It's weird, but it's a basic rule. So silvers and down for Libertadores are expensive, and silvers and up for SUDAMERICANA are most expensive. Now, the reason why a lot of people don't trade with these cards is because it's very difficult to... So if you search Libertadores midfielder, for example, it's very difficult to find ones, although that's not a bad deal, to find ones that aren't gold. And so, effectively, what you can do is compare price back out, okay? And wait for stuff to pop. That's what I did earlier on, and it works really well. And realistically, you can buy anything here that's under 800 coins. But what you're looking for is the ones that aren't gold. That's what you want. You want the ones that are basically rated below 75 ratings. So 74 and down. And you can sit there and wait for them to pop. But obviously, the other side of that is you can flip the filter as always, and we can bid. And you guys know about that by now. And you can go, okay, cool, bidding this one, bidding whatever. And some will get through, some won't. But there's also something you can do in terms of getting to know how the Libertadores works. And basically, Libertadores is all the sort of South American teams. It's their version of Champions League. And in a similar way that top 9 nations and whatever tend to be gold cards, it's the same for this, for the Libertadores. And so really what you want to be looking for is the more obscure of those cards. So if we look at FIFA 21, I think we'll go players. We'll try and find a way to break it down for you guys as simplistically as possible. Cards, version, Libertadores. Let's go over to... We go over to, this is Footbin, right? And so if we look on Footbin right now, as you can see, you've got all the Libertadores cards here. And there's a recurring theme. Look how many Argentinians you see. You see loads of Argentinians there, all the way down to, they're all gold rating. And that doesn't mean that the Argentinian silvers don't sell, they do. But is it going to be easy for you to break down by nation Argentina? No. But then you start to get past that, you get towards the silvers, and you'll start to see other random nations creep up. So you start to see more Paraguayans, who tend to be silver rated. So you can look at Paraguayans. To a degree, you start to see more Uruguayans, you start to see more Chileans, all those sort of guys. And the further down you go and the further down you go, the more you start to see random nations like Ecuador, for example, that you wouldn't normally see if you weren't searching this way. And if you go nations here, one of the easiest things to do, you can search up and say, okay, cool, what nations are in the SUDAMERICANA, Libertadores? I know some of them. So, for example, if I show you Bolivia, where are we now? Bolivia there. There are no Bolivians that are lower or higher than 70 rated, and they're all either bronze or silver. So no matter what happens, these Bolivians are expensive. You know that full well. You can see that Bolivians go for a lot of value. So you can basically filter down to Bolivians, or if we change it up again, we go nations, we go Ecuador, for example. Go to E, Ecuador. Again, they've got one player, one of them, I think he might be extinct now anyway. One player that is gold, the rest aren't. And so sometimes when you look at these cards, you're going to pick up a very good deal. Sometimes it won't be, but I'll show you that when we get back on the game. And that's a basic way to break it down. And the same thing can be done with the SUDAMERICANA as well. Now, the SUDAMERICANA has very few cards that are gold. Very, very few cards that are gold. It's important to note that. So it's not too much of a struggle with SUDAMERICANA. But getting them away from the bronzes becomes impossible. It does become impossible. So I'll show you the SUDAMERICANA technique in a second. But if we go back to the game, what I can now do then, armed with that knowledge, is I can go, okay, cool, Bolivia. And I can see what Bolivians are selling for. Because the way that people tend to buy these cards is they tend to look specifically for the card they see. We'll buy that card. They tend to look specifically for the card they see on... So let's say, for example, they're doing the Libertadores SBC. They'll just go and find a 70 rated right back and they'll just go and buy it. And so it doesn't really matter to you guys or to them what he's selling for. They'll just buy that card because it's that card there. So that's where you guys can make good profit. So for example, Bolivia here, we know nothing is selling for less than 1,300. You can pick up anything below that by sniping and bidding. And then flip it straight on, basically. It's relatively easy to do that. So again, we know that here. We're arming that knowledge. We can go and bid on everything that comes up here. And it's so underdone. No one touches it. No one touches it at all. And so if I show you my store, and I'll show you what we've got. So we picked up these cards here. So for example, that Bejanaro, is that Bejarano? So yes, there are right backs for Bolivia that sell for less than 2,000 coins. But this guy will sell for more than that. Because when you do the Libertadores, a lot of times people just find a card and they'll just go and buy that one. It's lazy. Everyone's lazy on it and they'll just buy it. But especially if it's got to be a silver guy, a lot of the time they cannot be bothered to sit there and work out which silver guy is the cheapest. Because it's hard to get through that. They just go and buy whichever one comes up first on the filter. Eventually yours becomes the one that comes up first and they just go and buy it. And that's how they work. And basically I tend to filter down by the sort of more minor nations in the most respectful way. The more minor nations from doing that method, I just do that. Some people will filter down based upon position, and which you can do. So, for example, one thing that I know, for example, is expensive is Libertadores cams. They're all very expensive. They don't tend to be lower than that, because there aren't that many cams for Libertadores that are gold, except for this guy here. But this guy here, I think, normally is a centre forward, so he's been position changed there, so avoid him. But all the other actual cams, there are none, I don't think, that are gold. So it's a very easy way to sort of make that go, sort of narrow that filter down to some degree. Then centre mids again, there aren't that many centre mids that you can really filter out of because a lot of them are gold. But again, if you are putting them on bids, you're able to try and sneak a few through. So you can change it over and look for centre mids that aren't gold. So you can flick through this and see if there's any available you can bid on. If there's none, it's because they're more expensive centre mids. They do cost quite a bit for the Libertadores. We've got any here? No. So I'll up my thing a little bit and just go, okay, cool. What else we got to bid on? Are there any here that are? Let's have a look. Yeah, so here we get to them now. And so all you want to do here is just compare price on them and get a rough idea of what they're selling for. So this Rojas, for example, is 4,000 coins, so we can throw a bid on him. And he'll go to our transfer targets. Is it Almendra? I think it is. Look at that, 4,000 coins again. So you start to get a rough idea that all the centre mids that are silver rated or lower go for that price. And you can throw bids on them and they come up later on. And they get to that point where you go, okay, cool, I've done that, I've done that, I've done that. Transfer targets. Look what you've won and what you haven't. And so here, for example, these cards here all picked up for 600 coins. I'll compare price on this guy. So I've doubled my coins on him. Oliveira, doubled my coins on him, or more than doubled on him. Astorga, again, more than doubled my coins on him. Moreno, doubled my coins on him. We'll put them all there. It's that easy. That's how easy it is to do. It doesn't take a lot of work or a lot of thought process. It literally just takes you to have a bit of geographical knowledge to know which nations are classed as minor nations and which are major nations, and in the space of whatever time you pick these up. Now, SUDAMERICANA is far more profitable, but far more hard to do. So this Hinestrosa we just picked up a minute ago for, I think, 500 coins? No, 350. Now, deciphering the SUDAMERICANA is much more difficult because you can't really do it via nation. You've sort of got to do it by position, and basically the way that I tend to do it is literally just to go midfielder and bid. And just see, basically you're looking to get past all the bronzes. And you're trying to find the ones that are silver. So you flick through the filter and you're trying to find it. Now this way is much more long-winded than it is on Libertadores, but it can be a lot more profitable. The reason for that is it's very hard to search these cards. So again, when people just need to get the rating they need to complete that SBC, they just go and buy the first one that meets that rating. It is that simple. So we'll keep flicking through. There's one there. So 70 rated guy here. So we'll throw a bid on him. And again, on him I'll compare price. And the cheapest of him is 2,100, 2,500, and there's one there. The thing with these ones is once you tend to find them, you tend to sneak them through a lot easier than you do with the Libertadores. Far easier. Because it's a lot like hard work for people and a lot of people can't be bothered. But sometimes there are times when these cards get up to 5 or 6k and all you need to do in an hour is find 5 or 6 of them and you make yourself 25k in an hour. If you're a very basic trader and you haven't traded much before, it's a really simplistic way to look at filters and go, okay, cool, let me try and pick them up. I will clear these guys off here. So again, this guy here is still being spotted, it's not a problem. There's Rojas now, we'll bid on him and see if we can get him anyway. But that's basically the method. That's how you trade with Libertadores and SUDAMERICANA, and it's hella effective. It's really, really effective. Now, what you'll find is a lot of these cards do not sell until basically the end of them, if they're silver. Because most people tend to pick them up. What they'll do is they'll go to the SBC itself. So say you're on the SBC and you're looking for a Libertadores card. A lot of them will go, okay, cool, I need a silver midfielder. And they'll go Libertadores, centre mids. Let's go transfer market actually, what we're doing. Libertadores, centre mid. And they'll put their buy now because they know they're at 2,200. They'll get to this. And they'll just flick through. And they'll go down. And they'll keep getting there until they find one that is eventually silver and they'll buy it. That's how most people complete Libertadores. Smart people know which ones sell cheaper and tend to write a list of them like I do for League SBC method. But some people just can't be bothered. And I don't blame them. It's long-winded. But it is a way that you can make coins easily for you guys because it basically means you're playing on people's laziness. And as I always say to you guys, never underestimate a lazy buyer. Now, even that, I forgot Rojas was there. I've just lost out on 2,000 coins because I've let him go basically very easily. But this guy here will bid on him. But I'm going to go away and see if we get this Godoy and see what we get him for. I'll be back once we've done that. I'll see you in a second. And I am absolutely fuming. So, basically, it's still doing that now. I had him won at 150 according to me. And it was processing, it did that. And I've come back and gone on to it. It's been processing for like a minute now. And it actually went for 1,400 coins because it did not tell me someone had bid. It's a big problem in this game right now. So be mindful of that when you go to bid on cards because I didn't get him in the end, which is frustrating. But I've got more on bids here anyway, either way. It's how I got the other SUDAMERICANA card through. But it's frustrating. It's a problem on the bidding at the moment that it tells you you've won. It doesn't register the bids the other person's put on and you get stung because you think you've won a card and you haven't. But obviously that one wouldn't have been that profitable anyway, so I take some small solace in that. But again, we are bidding on these ones here and we'll see if we get any of them. I don't know if we will. But it's basically, it's just a case of, if you remember the consumable video, I said to you guys, it's a case of trying to sneak them through. And see, look at this. Why is this game so broken? Like, what bid is he actually at? Like, what bid is he actually at the moment? It's a case a lot of time of trying to sneak these cards through. You're not going to win all of them. You're not going to win every single one you try and win. Sometimes you'll win some, sometimes you won't win some. But as you've seen so far, the ones I've got there already picked up. And it's never that long a sell. if you fill up your transfer pile with these cards, 100 of them, you'll tend to find that towards the end of the hour, loads sell, and earlier in the hour they don't. But basically, you can make this a conveyor belt. If you've got an empty transfer list, you keep buying them and keep listing them, and like throughout the hour, the ones that are running soonest will sell. You can then re-top up with new ones, and for a whole day, you can keep doing this and keep building them up. But the gaps tend to be quite nice on them. The gaps tend to be very, very strong on them. You tend to make at least sort of 1,000, 2,000 coins profit on some of them. Right now, this filter's just got busy, so right now I'm not going to be bothering too much longer to do it. But again, like there, you've seen another bid it didn't tell me about. But yeah, like I said, I've got all these guys here now. We've been picking up, and I've just been playing about with it all night and seeing what we get and what we don't get. This obviously was a very good pickup. Some of the other ones here, 700 coins on this guy here, 950 on that, 600 on that. It's not too bad. It's really, really not too bad. It's a really good, effective method to use. I like it a lot. And it sort of made me realise, like I say, doing this today, that I probably can't stay unassigned on these Ginters for too much longer, because you guys aren't going to see me trading with the Fernandez series, and I do want to get that done as soon as I possibly can. But basically, get involved in it. Play about with football. It's why it's so important when I do these videos that I don't sort of spoon feed too much. Play about with football. See what nations are good, what positions are good, and the more you play with football, the more you get used to it, the more opportunities open up to you guys in terms of trading. I want to bring out a video showing you how you work with graphs and how you work the market going up and down on the game, and that's going to be massively helpful for you guys. But check out Libertadores and SUDAMERICANA cards. They do very well. In general right now, silver cards are through the roof, so get involved in them. It's the easiest way right now to learn how their fluctuations work, because they're very, very high. So big undercuts are coming on the market all the time right now, so the risk is much lower than it would be normally in terms of a market drop. But that's the end of the video. If you are new around here, as always, make sure you subscribe down below. Make sure you turn your notifications so you never miss an upload. Subscribe to Futtrading if you want to make millions of coins a month. But for now, I am out. Peace out. I'll speak to you soon.
Turning truth to lies. Gotta get up, stop wasting time.